Hey everybody, so another video but completely new format this time. I'm sitting here with Godrie, the co-founder of Beyond Psychology, and if you have been following Beyond Psychology for a while, you maybe have seen our website and you maybe have read his name and a little bit of a story about him, but if you don't know us, check it out on the website. But this is Godrie, and together a couple of years ago we founded Beyond Psychology, and I have been on the forefront of everything, of every content, of creation, of video, of writing. But behind a lot of my philosophies, ideas, and the way I look at life and the world and others and at healing, psychology, and awakening, there's also a lot of insights and input from Casey over here, which is a dear friend already also for a couple of years. And he has been coaching me, guiding me, mentoring me, yeah, I would say to be the person I am today. And we are traveling together a lot, and we have a lot of conversations about psychology, but also about the world. And yeah, Casey came with the idea to start and record those conversations, the things we talk about a lot, we want to share with the world, because we believe we have something to offer and to show and to tell about a lot of things. In a way, and the dynamics and especially the way we look at the world, I think, and also the way we also always um, reflect on ourselves and our own behavior, also in the relationship that we have, and how much of those tiny little reflections in the individual relationship we have also are reflections of what we see happening in the world, in a way. And yeah, we wanted to start recording those conversations to also share it with you, and hopefully inspire you also to look a bit differently at the world, or to look a bit differently at yourself, and to empower you to find your inner strength, your inner power, your authentic self, and start sharing that with the world, which is always our mission, to empower as many people as possible, right?
Yeah, true, true. Yeah, and
Yeah.
especially I think like so often our conversations lead to self-reflection, help us to grow. And so the idea is like it would be beautiful to share this, help other people as observer to identificate and to feel and see and reflect on it. And yeah, hopefully help them to grow as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if
Definitely.
this could be a tool, here we are.
Here we are. Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, we met a couple of years ago, and Kissy is like a multi-entrepreneur, so he has had a lot of businesses in his life, but he is also a really open-minded, creative mindset. And I think 15 to 20 years ago, you went also on a more spiritual journey, maybe of seeking and personal growth, and that led you to where you are and who you are today, that you are roaming around the planet and finding and helping people to grow, especially creative people who want to contribute to the world and do something beautiful to make the world a better place.
Yes, I think it's especially if you feel like having some experiences you can use and benefit of other people, especially when you keep an eye on society, the world, the matrix, as we see what's happening all the time and how many people suffer and end up in maybe mental slavery, not even seeing this and just accepting the standards which is given them and to satisfy themselves and try to be positive. And then I think, wow, it would be beautiful if people got like more open-minded and about their own situation and see and reflect on it and be able to improve and still can choose to continue the lifestyle they live, but in more awareness, more feeling, knowing what the stage of them is and where other people are, and if it's good enough or not.
Mhm.
And I think out of the some experiences, also the person I can feel I was before and who I am now. After what happens to many people, I think if you get fulfilled of all the things people are longing for, money-wise, business-wise, and being seen, and then at the end you get the feeling like, well, how could I help other people to get in this stage, and also to see that all the things maybe they strive for is not so worthwhile, different than the things which are really worthwhile. It's like to be authentic, true yourself, and know and feel as little as possible to be manipulated by all kinds of things around you. And
Yeah.
either people will love you and try to move you in a way out of expectations, or being helpful, or a system that like tries to make you, bring you in a situation that you feel like happy to contribute. And but on the other hand, you also feel that many things happening in a different way if you contribute. And so then you can, yeah, see like all kind of organisms, people, institutions, what they are doing and what's the benefit of them, what's the benefit of you. And we hope that, especially governments, and that it's a benefit of the population, of us. And well, if many things is happening, what could give a different feeling, then it's at least good, I think, to be aware, and then still you can make your selections and choose. And I think in the end, even be more happy than when you don't see it. So yeah, that's also how we met, and like out of you, beyond psychology, to try to empower the people to find a way how they are able to choose own directions and not getting too much manipulated, and walking in between the lines, religions, governments, or whatever tries to bring them in.
Yeah, that's also how we met a couple of years ago, when I was in a phase where I was like already on this journey of breaking free and healing and trying to find my authentic self. But we met at a moment where I was still very vulnerable, and where I was like, I talk a lot in my videos about like recovering people pleaser, just how I've been suppressing my own power for the sake of being liked, loved, seen, and heard, etc. And we met when I was at a place where I felt very vulnerable, and I was very open, and where I was really, really suppressing my own power, my own truth, my authenticity, out of such a deep shame, for example. And when we met, and the months after that, you really mirrored that back to me a lot of times, where I was really abandoning myself and my own power and my own strength and truth and confidence and wisdom, whatever, and why I was doing that. And I think that in essence, that is also what we see in the world a lot, that so many people live out of shame, out of unworthiness, out of fear for rejection, abandonment, or worse. And this fear is keeping so many people so small and so suppressed and so disempowered in a way, in a sense. And I think it's interesting to talk about the person you were in the past also, and who you are now, because we can find each other really in that sense, that we both see how much everybody in the world is suppressing themselves and their authenticity and their power, and that we think we have the ingredients to help them step into that power, right? In a way.
Yeah, I think it could be helpful that out of the person I was before now, that I can tap into the feeling where all the movements come from at the moment, where the ideas come from, and
Yeah.
how people in the way they are at the moment. We're talking this moment how all the top entrepreneurs who like stack billions and try to influence the world in a way maybe they think in benefit of the world. I'm not sure about it. Like at least in benefit of them. That's for sure. And the rest of the population is minor case, minor issue for them, I think. And I remember that I could, when I could see all people around me trying to stack some money, trying to survive, and it was so easy for me. And I started to stack all the money. I felt like God, I felt superior. And I think all those people are losers. And don't let them make any opinion, and don't listen to their voice, because they're not even able to do what's like what they're longing for and what the world made for. It's like stacking the money.
Mm.
And but then, then I understood, after some time, of course, some years, when I also got like, I took all the advantages out of it, of course, and I behaved in a way I can be pretty critical to if I observe it now. But I allowed myself also like to move in ways what, well, luckily already we also in society reflect on the last decades, that you cannot behave in a way like out of superiority and people just moving away just to reach your goal, which like those entrepreneurs and me, I felt, which was no problem because everybody was a tool in the team to reach the goal. And how they felt about it during the time they're working for you or trying to, it's not important, only the goal, the goal, the goal.
Mm.
And I got the feeling that it's the same happening at this moment in the world, that a few entrepreneurs, they make a deal, let's get together and we make plans. And I remember that the democratic influences, it often doesn't bring you in the speed you want to go because you get more information. You need to deal with opinions from this one. You need to deal with your opinion from that one. It costs time. You're like only focusing on the goal. So you don't like the democratic way too much. But out of the democratic way, it's like the connection with the working floor, the people who are involved in all these things. So it's important to listen to them. But I remember when I tried to reach my goal, I didn't feel like listening to them because I felt like spoiling time.
Yeah, so you recognize, let's make it a little bit clearer. You recognize yourself in the men in power that we see right now in the world that are taking even more power and that are doing that in undemocratic ways, right? We talk a lot about how you recognize yourself and the way your mind works and worked in the past when you were building all your companies and all the millions that you've gathered in a way, in a sense. You recognize yourself in that mindset. So in the way they think, in the way they behave, and in the way they are like very undemocratically taking what's not theirs, maybe, or they believe they are, but also coming from this mindset that they are superior in a way and that they are above everybody and that they want to have all that power, right? So it's a power game.
Absolutely. And I ended up in spiritual areas with yoga, meditation, all the things, and I still do because I think it's steps to bring you into a flexibility of not only the body, yoga, like, but also the mind. And so you really needed to make these steps. But I could also see that most of the people I got involved with, they got a feeling, and hopefully it works. Yeah, like, I know the numbers. Like if we with a certain amount of people meditating the same way, we can influence the world. And I really believe we can influence the world in a bit. But I think on the other hand, we also need to understand that the people in lead this moment, they are super happy that people believe that all they need to do is to meditate and do yoga, because you can see what's happening. They keep on stacking the billions and they make the rules and they make the programs. And at this moment, we're really going backwards, like to the 30s, like according rights for women. And well, I don't need to mention other things. People who see what's happening, refugees and like the fascistic tools which are growing up, and in Musk the invest to get right-wing populated parties bigger in the United Kingdom, in Germany, at least he succeeded in USA. And you see all the people coming together. You see it in Italy, you see it in Holland, Wilders. You see everywhere that, because why? Because for decades they bring us already, via most of the time right-wing parties, they bring us in shortage. More and more people in shortage, it was expressions about it in all languages, I think. Once a cat doesn't feel comfortable, doesn't know where to go, you don't know where to go because it's gonna jump in different crazy ways. And you see this happening to all the people. People are in shortage, and the next step they want to make is they need to find the reason why they are. And then the right-wing populists come there and they say, yeah, but it's a refugee. it's the immigrants which are coming there taking your jobs. But they like make plans already for ages that was not enough money for lower class and even reaching middle class at the moment. So it's programs. And out of the sick mind I had, and I still partly have, I think, because that's why I became in a position in my life that I'm like, can live this mellow lifestyle. I hope I can use this part of understanding what's going on in their mind, but also goes on in my mind, that if we reflect on it, we can change it and we can make people in charge understand that maybe if they reflect on it and they change lifestyle, that they can feel more healthy and better about it themselves, the ones in lead, but at least all the people who are in meditation, in yoga, and waiting for the moment that they understand that we also need to unite, we need to change things, and we need to at least make clarify to them that we understand what's going on and we don't accept anymore.
But I think also that is where we met, or that's the conversations we have a lot about, because I, like, as an individual, I made that journey from personal growth, from feeling insecure, small, little, ashamed via yoga, spirituality, meditation, etc., to a point where I learned also through the almost guidance or coaching from you how to like step into my power and to feel my voice and to start sharing that. And I think that's where I come in a sense, where we talk a lot about that so many people are so afraid to do that. So that, like, I recognize the energy that you have. I see that also in a Trump or in all the guys that we're talking about right now. I recognize those energies in the way they talk, the way they move. I recognize that in you, and that was such a deep uh, um, healing journey to get in touch with that energy and to feel what it did to me as a person, how much shame I felt coming up, how much like fear and insecurity coming up, and how much of my like mechanisms to stay safe in a dynamic with an energy that felt threatening came up, and that I had to, like, I don't know, it was very confronting to realize how many mechanisms I had installed to stay safe for such an energy. So that makes me realize that so many people are stuck in this dynamic where once they sense power or authority, they immediately make themselves small and feel afraid. And that is what's still happening in the world also. Almost like we always talk about trauma bonds, narcissist versus empath, whatever, all these power dynamics, whether these are in small relationships or more collectively happening. I think that is what a lot of people are stuck in also in the world, and the reason why they not stand up.
Yeah,
Let's say.
it's about self-confidence, I think.
Yeah.
Those people, I mean, got self-confidence
Yeah.
more than average.
Yeah.
Well, we can, and we use it, we abuse it
Yeah.
to make things happen the way we want them to make.
Yeah. Yeah.
And well, that's also my call. Like,
Yeah.
I'm one of them, and I call, like, come on, let's make clear, and at least it would be beautiful also if, like, enough people create enough awareness and feel empowered that at least they feel comfortable in groups. Because in groups, people often feel more comfortable, more strong, and that's the power to the people idea. And yeah, I think beyond psychology, it's a beautiful tool. All the exercises you make, all the blocks you make, and it cuts. I hope and I think to see that you focus on all those kind of small things which make you as a human being the way you are. Most of the time, beautiful people, super empathic, but
Yeah.
so easily to manipulate in a way that we don't hear your voice,
Yeah.
that you don't dare to speak up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, but we've been conditioned, so that's what we talk a lot about so much, especially as women, but I see this in my all my clients so much also in men, so it's not even gender related alone. We've been conditioned so much to suppress like the truth that is living inside of us. We feel so ashamed for who we truly are. I think that I I want to bet, I put my money on it, that every session that I have with a client is about, in the end, about a wound of unworthiness that is living inside of them. So like everybody that I work with feels unworthy, feels ashamed, feels incapable, feels unloved, unseen, unheard, and carries that pain and that trauma almost with them or inside of them. And from that trauma, choose different mechanisms to deal with it almost, right? So I chose to make myself small and to please and to submit myself and to suppress my power. But other people choose to suppress their vulnerable, their empathy, their shame. So they make themselves bigger and dominate and start to control and manipulate, in a way, in a sense, in the world. But in essence, everybody carries so much trauma around feeling unworthy, feeling unseen and unloved. And that is, I think, that if you carry that wound, subconsciously you do everything to not feel that wound. So you try to fit in, you try to belong, you adapt.
So you find all kind of bypasses.
Yeah, yeah.
Either religion, spirituality.
Yeah. Also, yeah, that's also a way. But first you have all kinds of behaviors installed and mechanisms installed so that you will not be rejected, not be abandoned, not feel ashamed. So you are actually held prisoner by your own shame in a way. And then you try to find salvation through religion.
You find new bubbles.
Yeah,
You find
yeah.
bubbles where you
To
feel
stay safe.
comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To stay
And
safe.
I think it's a good thing in the end, of course, to in my opinion, to find bubbles where you meet like-minded, like-hearted people,
Yeah.
because it's comfort and it's
Yeah.
like quality of life.
Yeah.
But if you only can be who you love to be in this bubble, and every time when you leave this bubble after a few hours, days, weeks, you get back in the situation you was before, and you need like to go to the bubble again. That's not the way, I think. So I think
No.
you really need to empower yourself that you feel comfortable in your bubble, you're happy in your bubble, but you survive when you leave your bubble.
Mhm.
And well, that's what we hope we can do with Beyond Psychology.
Yeah, that's also how where we find each other a lot. That we, and I mean, it's not a critique, but it's what we see all around the globe in all the communities that we come, is that a lot of seekers and spirituality, religion, personal growth, whatever, is also a bypass, is also a fleeing from reality and from the unsafety that a lot of people feel inside of them. And I think that, yeah, it's my personal mission to help people feel safe inside so that they will speak up, have boundaries, stand up, whatever, that they just do not tolerate unhealthy power dynamics anymore, that they do not tolerate oppression anymore, that they start to see through the oppression, the conditioning, the mind control, the fear, etc. But to do that, I couldn't have, I would not stand where I am right now or feel that powerful if I did not meet you. And the interesting part is that I had to also learn from that more dominant energy that we see also in the leaders that we find very toxic, because it allowed me to tap into that power inside of myself too, and then use it, hopefully, with reflection all the time,
Sure.
in a good way. So that's, I don't know, a little side path, but it's interesting it was interesting for me, like, oh, I it doesn't help me to only reject that energy that I see outside of me if I still suppress it inside of me. So in that way, we learn also a lot from each other in this dynamic, in this power dynamic. Yeah.
Yeah, it will also be beautiful if we could get there, because we help the
Yeah.
ones which are manipulated,
Yeah.
but we also help the ones which are manipulating.
Yeah.
In the end,
Yeah.
only in the beginning they would like not agree, and they would
Yeah.
like use all the power and all the possibilities
Yeah.
to stop it, because that's
It's an attack.
Yeah, and it's also the human being is conservative, and you
Yeah.
love to keep what you have because it feels comfortable, especially when it feels comfortable.
Yeah.
And in that sense, I hope like enough people don't feel comfortable anymore to raise their voice and to
Yeah.
stand up. But those people also like, so I think in the end, it's programs
Yeah.
like where you be, I hope, a present for the whole world, for everybody in the end.
Yeah.
Because I think there's also into these institutions, into families. That is Rockefeller, Richards, all the, and
Yeah.
I know some people who are living in this kind of, not this families, but other families which are really wealthy, above average, and belong to the
1%. Yeah.
1%. And the kids, I spoke with them, and they pretty much agree with us.
Yeah.
But then the father or grandfather was like the founder of this, and he had this different, and we could not like take this away. So the new generations tap in the same situation, and before they, in the beginning, they still like got the feeling we're gonna change it, but then after some time, they get adapted, and then also all the benefits, and
Mm.
then the standards over there, and then in the end, keep on rolling like it is. It'll never change.
Yeah, but that's because that's why I always say like I don't have that much of a trust in the people who are in power already, but I do trust the generations and their children and their grandchildren, because amongst those I hope that there are cycle breakers
There are.
who break cycles. But to be a cycle breaker of your family system and the intergenerational trauma, which I also often write and talk a lot about, to break free from that is a really lonely journey of breaking free from so much conditioning, so much shame, so much rules, unwritten rules,
Yeah, sure.
to do that. And you really have to stand really strong in yourself, in your center to do that.
And there is one
So
big problem in that thing, that the why do you want to break it? Because you believe in love and togetherness and sharing,
yeah,
and you don't believe in fighting.
yeah,
And you need to fight the old mechanisms to change it.
yeah,
So that's the same the same thing is happening in the example I gave before about people. Why they tune into this yoga meditation? They want
mm,
to be at peace. They want peace, peace of heart, peace of mind,
mm,
and they don't want to fight. They don't want to
mm,
be like become also part of the
mm,
polarization.
mm,
So yeah, that's a problem. And so far, that's how the matrix continues, because
mm,
we 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 love to be in peace. We are not ready to fight the old mechanisms we need to get rid of to live in this beautiful world, paradise, where we are even not with enough, with too many people.
mm,
Because there's more than enough if you're ready to share. There's not enough if 0.01% takes 70%, 80% of the source. Then
yeah.
it's not enough.
Right.
But if you're ready to share, there's more than enough.
Yeah. I think that that's also what we discuss a lot, where we not fully agree, is that whether you have to fight or whether you have to say, I step out of it and I don't participate in it anymore, and I'm going to create new paths, new realities, new,
Yeah.
right, in a way. Because for me that's always a search, because sometimes I fight, sometimes I create new things. So I one foot in the old, one foot in the new, something like that. But when I fight uh, for a longer period, I get exhausted also. And what I also feel is that the fight comes from defensiveness and from out of my pain. And when I don't feel defensive or like I want to fight, but I feel very grounded, then I can just say, feel like a clear, grounded, peaceful no towards emotional immature behavior, towards domination or control from someone else, towards suppression from someone else, or oppression. And I feel like, no, I'm sorry, I'm not participating in. And then whether it's you or my mother or Trump, whatever, if I say no and I don't participate, then you lose also the leverage you have to dominate someone, right? In a way. So But
Yeah, but I agree.
it's
I agree,
yeah,
completely agree. And so that's also the difficulty because I would love to believe in the fact that we only can, because I also believe in the fact that where we are now, to change it, you need to change from complete other ways. So
yeah,
why can't you leave this part alone? That's also my feeling. Because just ignore it, it's not there anymore. We create new reality, a
yeah,
new world, away from all the old systems.
yeah.
But
But
as long almost all the people I speak about ideas about libertarianism, yeah, like then you have to, well, we start. If we do it in our country, then they go to the other country. And also,
yeah,
we are not able, me included, we are not able to think in a different way as the way where we live and how the institutions grow, how the money system is, how the reward system is.
mm,
And if we really want to find a new way here, then I think we need to get rid of this part where most of the people think it's not possible to change is because they are too powerful and they
mm,
will keep it either one way or another, always the way it is, the benefit of them.
yeah,
And so that's why I think we need, and it doesn't need, for me, like a huge revolution, but I could think like if we, with enough people, raise our voice and we ask in a democratic way with the majority of the population that we don't allow people to stack billions anymore.
yeah,
We can at least raise the voice. And it will not happen, but at least the voice, and then people start hopefully to reflect on it, or maybe I should use more of this, and
yeah. That's a slow
or
process
boycott,
of change.
just choose one place. I remember, I told you before, like in the United States, there was like the cultural creatives. Some people went to a grocery in an area which was closed on Sunday. And they made a deal with this man. Listen, you open up Sunday, you open up your store, and we're going to bring our network here to buy. And let's make a deal. The 20% of your profit you invest in an environment-friendly system to cool your fridges.
Mm,
So this was just an idea, and you can use it called many. But then this guy opened his store this Sunday, and the people were queuing for hours. Why? It was all like-minded people. They were happy to queue in the conversations and to inspire each other and to make new plans. And this is what I see happening in Burning Man. If you need queuing up over there, waiting for your ice you can buy, then you have to wait. But it's only interesting people, or
yeah, it's community.
and also party drugging people, of course. But like, at least there's people like with a different mindset, and you can inspire each other. And yeah, I would think like if you could, for instance, if you see that uh, that one of these guys like is stacking the money and is not dealing with the planet in a fair way, you can make manifests. Organizations do this, like Greenpeace do this, Amnesty. Like start one
Yeah,
thing and then tell them what to do, and then maybe communicate if you don't change your attitude in 2 weeks. Then for 2 weeks we don't gonna visit your store for a while anymore.
yeah, but that of course everybody knows this concept, but it's still not happening. So apparently, a lot of people don't feel that they have the power, the resources, the energy, or even feel that invested to do things like this. And I think I was just thinking while you were talking that for the more free you are from the system, so the more independent you are, the easier it is, of course, that's what we both notice, the easier it is to follow your own path, set your own steps, etc., and don't feel threatened by people in power because you feel. I think we have. If you, the more independent you are, the more powerful you also feel, and the more equal you feel with those who make the laws in a way. But a lot, so many people are also dependent on the very systems that they then have to fight in a way, and as long as you are dependent on the systems that you have to fight, you're almost not able to win in a way. If you believe you are dependent on the systems, let's nuance that.
Yeah, but you can maybe find ways that you uh, choose directions in being solidary in a boycott. but in a way what doesn't affect your job. Because if you, uh, if you, for instance, don't want to buy Tesla anymore, and you work in the bank business, well, your boss in the bank would not complain about the fact you don't take Tesla anymore. Yes, and if you don't read a newspaper anymore, because results is like making selections you don't like, then you choose another newspaper or no
Yeah.
newspaper. Even
Yeah,
better.
yeah, I understand that, but I think that like a lot of that's what I see like amongst like in the work that I do already for years that if as long as there is as long as you're not aware you're in that system, you're in that matrix, then you will not fight it.
Absolutely.
And then you become aware, you feel dependent on that system. So you feel you there's like so much internal resistance and blocks and
Yeah.
things that you have to overcome and conquer before you like stand up in it.
That's where we started.
Yeah.
Where we started was this story is like
Yeah.
that we need to create awareness that
Yeah.
people are aware of the situation they're into.
Yeah.
And if they're into, then yeah, then they understand, and then maybe we might get some together,
Yeah.
enough, hopefully, to change things slowly in a smooth way,
Yeah.
and then maybe we can even give this entrepreneurs at the moment who's like think they need to save the world, but especially save their own families and situations. Maybe we could create awareness, or at least they understand that they need to start to communicate, they need to behave in a different way, not to become the next target in a boycott. And this is what's happening worldwide with the
Yeah.
green, right? Like all companies is communicating green. Why? Because they know that people would love to see a green planet. And well, so maybe we could help them to change attitude in morality already a bit, and then yeah, hopefully then the grandchildren and children can speak with the dads and the grandfathers, and maybe we can make next steps, and then it would be an organic, smooth way.
I was just reflecting on the fact that the way my mind works is always how can I translate it to the individual experience and how can I help the individual break free from it, because that's where I have found to be where the most personal power lies in a way, and that everything we see outside always is a reflection of what is happening inside in a way, and that all these power dynamics, I just wish people could understand how free you can feel if you clean up internal oppressive systems almost in a way, and unshame yourself and get to know yourself on a deep level, and also do some tough shadow work, like where do I hold myself back, where do I resist change, where do I etc. So I was just thinking about that when you were talking, like you always are more energized when talking about the activistic part and the society and the world and things that need to change, and I'm just listening to that, but I always translate it in my mind.
Yeah, that's the good
Like
one.
what's the personal step? What can I do myself to
And I want to
to
move
make things-
forward, faster, faster. And like,
Yeah.
most of the people I meet and I feel connected with, they are more like step by step. Me too, but I'm maybe, yeah, out of being tuned into into this feeling already for decades, and already decades trying to scream, not being like a voice in the desert. Not many people hear me, and some people do, but then still. Then I got the feeling like, oh, maybe now this is maybe the moment, because everything is so in the face, so obvious what's happening now. It's just hidden for many years, slowly, like a bit of corruption here. And
Yeah, it was all in the closet and it came out of the closet right now,
Oh,
right? All those oppressive systems.
right there, so in the face. So just the guys with most billions, they come together to support the new president of the United States. Okay, hopefully
Great.
now we see what's happening, and also how they behave to minorities, how they behave to majority women, how they behave to I don't need to mention, and hopefully all the people can see what's happening.
Oh yeah, now you
The
touch.
lack of
Now you.
this is at the moment.
Now you touch upon the theme of women. We could make 10 videos of that already. But I think that I agree with you on that, and I also want that change. But it's just the more urgent I feel that change needs to be here, the more frustrating I get. Also, right? And I think that change just doesn't happen that abruptly. Again, if you look at your personal growth, your individual journey, it takes a lifetime to be where you are today, or for me, not a complete lifetime to be where you are today. And the changes happen so globally and
Yeah,
not abruptly.
I
Yeah.
agree, but sometimes, and like what I could see happening when the COVID virus was there, all of a sudden, in a few weeks, the whole world cooperated and made like decisions to move in the same way.
Yeah, but that's very interesting psychologically, but that was all fear,
Yeah,
fear, media,
it create fear.
campaign. I don't know. I don't want to, but like it was all fear and mind control, and through the media and through authorities. And as long as people are still seeking refuge and safety in authorities, they are not going to listen to the truth that is living inside of them.
True, that's why we need to get
So,
back to where we started. We
yeah,
need to create awareness,
yeah,
to empower people that they feel confident in their own choices,
yeah,
that they know they are okay. Almost all people are okay.
yeah. That they become their own authority also.
That's it, and that they don't need like to follow the rules from religion leaders,
Yeah,
politicians,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
You don't need to. You can follow your own intuition, and
yeah.
and just feel free. Move on,
Mm,
and then you understand what's
yeah,
what's going on, and then hopefully you can fight yourself through.
yeah.
And then you can live maybe also the lifestyle like India, like Bali, Ibiza, in Southern America,
Yeah,
and like free. Don't allow this small group of people anymore to cooperate in the system in a way that they take benefit out of the bad food they stimulate you to buy in commercials.
stop.
Where they make the money, and they make the money when they cure you.
Yeah,
It's
and
like
I think
we should have allowed this kind of
yeah, yeah. Period. And I think that is the most important thing. Also, we do and try to do with Beyond Psychology is to help the individual walk that journey and find their inner voice, their authentic self, their inner power, and their inner authority, so that you are able to say no and not anymore. It ends here with me. Whether that's the family system that you want to break free from, the shame you feel, the unworthiness you feel, societal conditioning, patriarchy, capitalism, colonialism, all these old, outdated paradigms, that you dare to recognize them and see where you still benefit from them, do some shadow work and let that go, and then step out of them and say, I'm not participating in those systems anymore. But that's, yeah,
Amen.
the journey that we, yeah.